keep them guessing, which is the good side. My good side? I'm on. Are we on?
Yeah.
I'm on. Is this my good side or is this my good side? There is no good side for Don Farrell. But this guy has great sides all around. Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Don Farrell, and I am one of the co-founders of Actors Theater of Indiana. And thank you so much for spending some of your lunch break with ATI with us today. And today, my guest today is Fred Glynn, resident of Carmel, been here for a good bit, and he served for Hamilton County Council for 8 years. We're just thrilled to have you and get to know you a little bit more, and welcome to ATI.
Thank you.
We've been able to talk a little bit off camera and have a lot of fun, so we're just going to carry that fun right on into the camera, into what we're talking about here today. So, let's see. You've got a teenage daughter. We were talking about your daughter, and she has been bit by the bug.
Yeah.
And she just finished doing a show, I think, at the Cat.
Yeah, Carmel Actors Theater.
And she was Wednesday
Adams. Yeah.
So she was like right into a role, which is kind of cool. We'll get to that in a little bit. But you also you bachelor's degree, aviation business. Did you ever fly? Did you?
I did not fly.
Oh, it's aviation business.
But I have I was an enthusiast. I had an aviation A&P license, airplane power plant license. Then I went and got a business degree, and I was going to continue on. And then after 9/11, I kind of put that bug away.
That bug, yeah. And that's something we were talking about before, about off camera, because I was living in New York City at the time. And that was like a transitory phase for me. I think all of us went through that universally. You were here at the time, right? You said you were, And so how did that affect you? I mean, do you remember exactly where you were when that happened?
I was on a flight back from Washington, D.C. when the first plane hit the tower, landed, and then I had to get security to get back to headquarters because they would have a shuttle pick us up, employees would take us back to headquarters, and security had to let me in. And then the next day when I went to work, there were armed people to let me into headquarters. It completely flipped. There was the next day, there was no meat on the shelves. Everything disappeared. Gas prices went through the roof within a 24-hour period. Lights, every other light in the building was pulled because we had to save money, because that's how thin the margin is for airlines.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I guess there's a misconception on that. I guess maybe it's not as much now as it used to be. That there was like, oh, the fat cat's running the airlines and And evidently it's like you said, it's really tight margins.
It's all revenue passenger miles, and it was usually about, if you got 10 cents per revenue passenger mile on that, you were doing really good. So it's a really thin margin for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. For 9/11, that was one of the big reshape moments for me and my colleagues when we started the theater company moving here from New York City. And then I think we all kind of gone through another reset button with the whole pandemic thing, right? That's been a whole reassessing what's important, values, all that type of stuff, family. And you got a beautiful family here. Beth, tell me, Beth, you're married to Beth for 20 years. How did you and Beth meet?
We met at a 4th of July party.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Was
it a cookout?
It was just a friend invited us, a bunch of people to his house, and then one of the mutual friends brought her, and then we met there, kind of hit it off, and I've been with her, ever since. It was a dating thing, then an engagement thing, then a marriage thing, and then we got our daughters graduating high school. So
And then when is she graduating?
She graduated early from Carmel High School. Yeah.
Okay. And my daughter's graduating from Carmel High School as well. I know. I feel like they're growing up.
Well, the growing up part it hasn't bothered me, but I'm just really, really not looking forward to when she's gone and away to school. That's the part that's got me.
Has she looked at colleges or what?
She applied to a bunch of BFA and acting programs, but we applied to them, I think, a little bit late, because most of those programs, if you want to be an actor into acting and get into these BFA programs, they accept between 15 to 30 people out of a few thousand applicants. Most of these schools.
It's pretty competitive.
The one she liked, though, she liked SCAD. She's been accepted there. So we spent some time down in Savannah looking at that. She's got a scholarship offer for Columbia College of Chicago, so we're going to take a look at that one. North Carolina's coming up, UNC, but I think that she's leaning towards SCAD. They have a lot of resources down there for people that want to be in this fields. And she's got a little bit of a fashion bug too, and she can.
Oh yeah. She can play into that too. That is awesome. I love Savannah. Of course, growing up in the South and Georgia, but the history of Savannah and the cobblestone streets and
Spanish ferns everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
and you know that Savannah is like the second largest St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day festival. Yeah. I had no idea that Savannah. I blew my mind because I was like, why would it be Savannah? It would be Chicago or it'd be New York. Why would they be the second? So it surprised me about that.
Well, when I was on a tour down there, they did like this haunted house tour, and they talked about that a little bit.
Did they?
They said that since it was English. It was a big English area, Savannah, when it started. There was a lot of indentured servants that they brought over from Ireland. So the roots there are very Irish because there were so many indentured servants serving the English that were there at the time.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and they tell a murder story about Alice Riley, and they got a play down there about that, the indentured servant that killed her person, and there's there's theater stuff about that too. You guys could maybe do a show.
Yeah, give me some ideas. We'll talk off camera and get some more ideas from Fred.
There you go.
So when did speaking of your daughter, BFA, she wasn't looking to go into arts with that. When was the first time arts impacted your life in any way?
Well, it impacted me it was really her. I wanted to be a photographer when I was young.
Oh, really?
And which is why I support her pursuing her dreams, because I was told that you're not going to make any money doing that to pursue something else. So I had that when I was younger, but with her, I always wanted to have her try everything that she could when she was young.
Yeah,
to get an outlet. Let's figure out what she likes, And it started, like we talked about earlier, it started with dance, and then she got dance with a little bit of a theater thing, and then it kind of morphed into acting, and she's been doing that ever since. She went through both civic programs as a kid. She's doing performances at the Cat. She's constantly trying out for new shows and trying to hone her craft, and now she's going off to school to do it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, it's important for kids to have that different outlet, so I've really respected what this has done for her. I think it's been really good for her. So yeah, I'm a fan. And we were talking earlier about you have a background. Baseball was a big thing for you growing up, right? What positions you played? I played center field, and I was the best hitter on the team until I hit high school, and it kind of started to fade away. But I would always hit that thing pretty far out.
Oh, that's cool. They stuck me, this short guy, behind home plate, and I would occasionally be center field or right field. And but yeah, it was. Those were good days.
Those were good days, especially I just remember, that brought us together as a team. That's what I really remember. And I still remember the people I played baseball with to this day. Yeah. And we're not that much in touch, but you still have more of a memory of those people that you played that with and had that team camaraderie with than you remember anything else. Yeah. So
did you ever venture onto a stage or into a music or anything like that ever?
Just giving speeches on a podium count?
Yeah, sure. Public speaking, there's an art to that, right? Of course, public speaking.
That's about as close as I think I've ever gotten to it, but
Well, a lot of people say that they're so afraid of, that's one of the scariest things people are afraid of is public speaking, right?
What's crazy is it's
being
just
on stage or something like that, there's a parallel to that.
Yeah. It's when I first started doing it, I would always get nervous before I was up there. Yeah. It's just
common.
It's just like anything else. The more you do it, you get used to it. Yeah. So I'm better at sometimes than others.
Aren't we all? Let me tell you. Some of you guys have seen me on stage, and it's like, he's had better times than others here.
I don't always write what I'm going to say, so I'll just get up there and talk, and sometimes that goes better than other times.
I get you. That improv thing. I was talking to a friend who's really good at improv, and I highly respect my colleagues who, comedy sports. Those guys are amazing. Any of the, Nick Carpenter, I'm looking at you, Nick. Nick is awesome. Claire Wiltshire, looking at you. You guys are awesome. My hat's off to you. So if I go to actually improv, that's the thing. I'm scared to death of it. But if we're doing a scene and something happens and goes down, I've got your back. I don't know what it is, but you've got to be in the moment, right? Which is a big thing about stand-up is it's yes and you are always listening to what the other person is giving. Yeah. So if I'm thrust into it, I have to do it, and something elevates, and I have to be so hyper-focused. But if I know that I'm going to have to go in and make up stuff, oh man, I am scared to death. Yeah, it's something I don't know. That's a demon I'm going to have. Right? I'm going to have to face that demon someday. I have a feeling. Yeah. So you helped fund the Keystone Parkway flyover. Those things are really great with Keystone on the way down. With tell me about that.
That right there was a county project, because when you go to Lowe's Parkway, that area there is basically Hamilton County.
Right.
Because once you get to 146th Street, it's Hamilton County. That parkway, though, what's interesting is how much the people of Carmel liked that when we did that, when I was in county government. Because once in a while you'll do a ribbon cutting,
right,
and you do the picture thing and all that. But I mean, that one was, I mean, there were so many people that were
happy about that.
Yeah, they were really happy about that. I never seen so much, approval of a piece of infrastructure outside of Keystone Parkway. I mean, everybody loved Keystone Parkway.
And I have to say, that's one of the things I mean, it's actually truthful. People probably in my hometown of Roswell, Georgia, are tired of hearing me talk about Carmel, and but it's true. They go, it can't be that great. Well, come up here and visit it. But all of the thought and the city planning, the infrastructure that's going on with the city, the amenities, the things that have been attracting people to this area to allow it's a reciprocal thing, and I think we're seeing benefits of that from where a long time ago, where that all the initial thought comes out about this, and bringing in people to the table who really know their stuff, and taking in a lot from learning from others. That's one of the things is like I love how there's so many things that I'm able to appreciate, and I've seen them when I've been traveling, when I lived in New York City and traveling all over the nation. And I would remember seeing, going, oh, this is a really cool community here. And, oh, this is, that's kind of neat, but what if? And then to see it all kind of come to fruition here, that type of stuff with the Keystone flyover, that's what they're called, flyovers?
We call it flyover. Nobody's flying.
Nobody's flying.
Nobody's flying on that.
It's not the aviation thing. No, that's not tied into this at all. I thought you might be like, I got the aviation thing. I got to do the flyover.
No. It's your driving. It's just
it's
a flying impact there.
What do you are there any type of art since not Hamilton County, but primarily Carmel, really focusing on culture and making that somewhat of an economic driver? I remember that's one of the actually big things that made me come here after meeting with Mayor Brainerd back in 2004, before we incorporated as a nonprofit in 2005, and was talking about how when he was saying, we don't have this, we don't have that, but we're going to make culture now. To me, of course, because of the arts, that makes perfect sense because I've seen it. Is there anything that's really tapped into you going, wow, I love that, or I love this, any particular thing you like about what's going on with the arts? What's your overall view of that? I know you're a big fan, but your daughter,
of the theater,
of what's going on with that, and seeing how it's bringing that out.
Well, also, I was just at, just Floyd Nation thing over at the Palladium. That was a good thing. But if you have these theater, you have this stuff. I mean, and the whole family can go and see a show after dinner. I think there's value in that. But I also like the art shows that come to town that have a bunch of the paintings on display and that.
Yeah, Carmel International Arts Festival.
International Arts Festival. I think that's a good thing. We've done those. I mean, I go down to Penrod. We go down to the art museum down there once a year when they do that.
Yeah.
So I like those. Those are the things that really kind of move me, or the theater stuff, and that, and that's the biggest things that I'm into.
So visual arts.
Yeah.
And I saw a friend, we have a mutual friend, Gavin Good.
Yeah.
Isn't his art just like taking off like crazy?
But think about this though. This guy, what I was saying to him, and some people say you can't call Gavin that anymore. I'm like, isn't it great that we have such a local artist doing all this stuff? And he's like, well, Gavin's not local anymore. It's like, well,
we love you, Gavin.
We do
You're
love
a rock star, man. You're a rock star.
Yeah, but I always, it's like we can't call him local anymore. But he's still our Carmel guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's going across the country doing all kinds of arts for all types of celebrities, and and his stuff is really, I think, really taking off. And I think he's going to do better and better, and he's putting us on the map.
Yeah. I keep wanting to get one of his on my wall, and I'm like, dude, I don't know if I can. I can't.
I never asked the price.
I gotta save up because I'm afraid to even ask if I was like, what? I'll get a print.
Yeah.
I'll get like a Xerox copy of a print. He won't let that happen. But anyway, Gavin's doing pretty stuff.
That's awesome.
And I got to know him I got to know him, and that was like the VFW, good friends over at the VFW. I love those people over there. And just seeing him, and he's out doing stuff at many of the festivals,
Yeah.
many times, and then seeing him pop up in his background with some film and stuff. So I love that's one of the things that these big aha moments in this community.
Oh yeah.
I had no idea when I moved here. I was like, really, Carmel, Indiana?
Yeah.
And there's Carmel, Indiana.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I love about taking one of the big things. We bring in talent from outside, from our friends in New York or Los Angeles or Chicago or my hometown Atlanta, and mixing it with local talent here too. And when people who don't know and they have preconceived notions about what is Carmel, and then they walk away, they're going, oh my gosh, I know.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful moment.
And to have, I mean, even with that, right? Think about, we had the guy that won The Voice, right? Wasn't that
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Is it Josh Kaufman?
Yep.
Yeah. And then he still comes back home, still does shows back home. So it's not just, I think we got a plethora of these types of people, which is awesome.
It truly is.
Yeah.
It truly is. There's so many different things that are going on. I was going to ask you what was your first experience with the performing arts, but there it was. I guess
Yeah.
And then about why the arts matter to our community, but we were seeing a lot of that happen with the Hamilton County Tourism Bureau and things like that. It seems that we're working with. I mean, the Center for the Performing Arts, it's bringing in from 50 states, and I don't know. I'm getting ready to go and work with Jana Himes. Have you been to the Carmel Symphony?
No, I have
They're
not.
great symphony orchestra here, and doing a concert in tribute to John Williams.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I mean, iconic. First John Williams was here in the big score of Star Wars. Any of those iconic themes that were going on. So that's kind of neat. And the partnership between different resident companies working together has always been a lovely thing. That ATI is we just love that we're just like play a small part towards the community on the cultural level, but also on a larger level.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's so great about this community is that so many people back. I don't know. Is it a Midwestern thing? I don't know.
I don't know.
Because I grew up in the South. Were you born here?
I was born in Toledo, Ohio.
Yeah, Ohio, and I went to school in Cincinnati.
Oh, okay.
So Buckeye or Bearcat, because Buckeye is we're Bearcats, but
well, the Ohio State, my family members are Ohio State fans, are a little over the top for me. You said
they are serious
hardcore,
fans.
Serious fans.
Yeah. Now, are you talking baseball? Were you? Did you ever have you ever wanted I kind of here in Indiana? It's I guess Cincinnati Reds or it's Chicago Cubs, right?
I like the Cubs.
You're a Cubby?
Yeah. I got a autographed magazine and an autographed baseball from Anthony Rizzo on my mantle, and I got it hanging up. And he's not there anymore. I understand he's out on the East Coast now. Yeah. But when they won that World Series, that was really cool.
That was. I mean, were you hanging a W flag?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
a tough because nobody thought it was going to happen.
No.
Yeah, the Cubs were never going to win a World Series.
No.
And they actually won it. And I think Theo Epstein's gone now, right? He's not in there anymore. And so
well, when I came here, and then Mr. B's in the office right over here.
Yeah.
He's Phillies. I'm Atlanta Braves. We had a lot of fun during the National League, during the pennant races sometimes.
Phillies still have fans? They still have fun?
I think so. Oh, here comes Mr. B. Come on in. Yes. We're going to have a special appearance by. Come on.
I didn't think that if you got outside.
Oh, yeah. He's got his Phillies hat he's putting on.
I thought right when you got outside the Philadelphia area, right outside there's no more Philly fans.
Oh, yeah. I guess they let them out every once in a while. Oh! See what happens?
Yeah.
When we bring it now, we have to give a little airtime to the Phillies.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, what's your favorite thing about the community here that you're drawn to?
I think that's the people. I think that we got really good people here.
Yeah.
And I think that if we continue to do this type of stuff that we're doing, when it comes to infrastructure, when it comes to that thing, and we take maybe a little bit of a pivot on the way we're doing development. That's the case I'm making. I think we'll continue to attract good people. And as long as we continue to attract good people like yourself that want to live here, that want to start this type of thing, we'll continue to have a bright future.
We are drawn to to quality, and I think people gravitate towards each other. Where that's the nature
exactly,
of us.
exactly.
And birds of a feather in a way, I guess.
Let's keep on bringing those minds that want to bring these types of things to us, and we'll keep growing in a positive manner, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Positive outlook on the future. We love that. Love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for spending time with us at ATI.
Well, thank you for having me.
We're and now you know a little bit more about our crazy world.
Yeah. And you got
Go
a Phillies
Braves.
fan. You got a Phillies fan in here.
Go Braves.
Any Cubs fans in
And
your
go
staff
Cubbies.
at all? All right, cool. All right, this guy will warn that.
And we got San Diego, right? They're the Padres. Yeah, Philipalooza, big Padre fan. I know. All right.
Aren't they still living off the legacy of Will Clark over there? I mean, that's like way back when.
Oh. You know what we had in New York City, and I always wanted to do this. I think this would be a great idea if we could actually get it organized. Was to the Broadway leagues would have Broadway show against Broadway show, but they would do softball games.
Yeah.
So it was you just get whether you had a bowling league or you had your softball teams. That'd be kind of fun.
Well,
get different arts organizations having a softball team and. That could be a fundraising
When you're from
thing.
Cincinnati, they have those groups where if you're brand new in town, they got certain age groups that do these different sports leagues that you can just sign up for.
Yeah.
I've never seen that here. It's like a fitness sports groups and stuff like that. You can make it an arts sports group.
Arts sports groups.
Yeah, yeah.
Stay tuned. Maybe we're formulating new ideas right here as we speak.
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Fred, for being here. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
And thank you so much for spending your time, a little bit of your lunch break with ATI. We'll see you next Wednesday at same time, same channel, and we'll see you then. Go out and do something good for each other.
Bye. Thank you.
Take care.
All right.